Hello, Maya. Nice to see you today.
And you as well.
Thank you. How have you seen Sooke evolve as a compassionate community over the past few years?
Well, Sooke, as you know, is a growing community and growing in population and growing with challenges. However, what I continually see are residents and not-for-profits and community volunteers rise up together to meet those challenges head on. So whether it's a tragedy in our community, concerns around wildfire, a pandemic, where all sorts of supports and resources are needed, you continually see our community rise up and say, okay, what is the problem? We're here to help. What can we do? How can we do this together? And I think that's really fascinating, and it's wonderful as we continue to grow that we're not losing that sense of volunteerism and the commitment to look out for one another.
What compassionate actions do you see happening right now here in Sooke?
And so through the pandemic and even prior, we know that we've had folks living in really rough situations. Rural homelessness is one that has been a part of our community fabric for decades now. And in the 80s, a small group of volunteers formed to reach out and to support folks that had fallen on hard times. Well, that continues to this day, and certainly while we had plans to study it further, as the pandemic came, there was a need to rise up and address it head on, and the volunteers came together, created an action plan, and are continuing to serve the population today, and also are building up and accessing resources, some which we knew of and others that we didn't know, but are working closely together to help people along. We also know that children have been going to school hungry, and our food bank, along with many others, have said that's unacceptable and we're going to do something about it, and they have, providing safe snacks and healthy snacks, and residents are continuing to give throughout the year. Our EMCS students are aware of this, and they're doing their Spring Out of Hunger campaign. So even in a time where classes are not fully in, the pandemic is hindering studies, we see our high school students wanting to make change and to do something positive to support others. So there's some of these examples, and I know that there's many more community groups reaching out to one another, and even district staff well aware of some seniors living in isolation, making calls out, doing grocery shopping, and supporting. And you continually hear of these stories every day.
Are these and more actions that you see in the future to make Sooke an even more compassionate, or to continue the compassion within Sooke?
I do. I mean, the district can't do everything. We certainly strive to, but in some cases, it's forming those partnerships. It's providing resources and supports to not-for-profit groups so that they can go and do the good work that they're ready to do. And we have many new residents that are attracted to the small town charm, the friendliness of the area, the sense of community, and they want to be a part of it. And so that's really exciting as well, as we see new residents come in with great ideas. And we also want to preserve what other character and the sort of sense of place that we've already established, and not lose that. And so there's a way I see forward is a blending of new and emerging ideas along with tradition and others, and finding a way to create a space that's open to everybody.
That's really wonderful. What that made me think of was an interaction that the district recently had with the Sooke Nation. And I've always, wanted more of an interaction with them relative to the district. Any words?
So we're grateful that we are home on the Sooke's traditional lands. And since early 2006, the Sooke and the district have had a memorandum of understanding on how our two governments will grow and work together. And so it's exciting with the nation building that's occurring right now. There is a need for services and infrastructure to the Sooke on their lands, and we're rapidly working to progress all of that. And also there's an opportunity to just listen and learn, and to have our awareness grow and build, so that we can ensure every child has the same opportunities in the future.
I feel that right now, where we're at here in Sooke on a path forward, relative to compassionate action that the district can do and make is to keep strong and keep doing everything that you're doing. You know, it's so people-oriented. I find it incredibly social.
Well, as the local governing body, it's important for council to set policy. That is one of our jobs, is to set and direct policy. And so what I mean by that is a framework that is inclusive and is safe. So we, for example, adopted a policy on when and how we fly the district flag. And within that policy document, it talks about how we're going to do this, but also what we won't do. So we won't fly a flag that sends out a hate message. So I'm using that as an example that all of our policy needs to come from a place of fairness, from inclusivity, from compassion, from acceptance of all. And when we embed that into our legislation, then it creates a better future and one that's open to everybody. Recently, the Chamber of Commerce has held a cultural sensitivity workshop for their members and non-members with self-directed learning on what truth and reconciliation really means. So that's one group, as we're in a reconciling world, that felt their membership could benefit from more awareness and training. We know that the Rotary Club continues to find ways to also put in infrastructure for all of the community to enjoy. The Rotary Pier is one great example of that. The Sooke Community Association is getting their ball fields open to play and is readying the campground is open to accept visitors and locals to enjoy our beautiful community. And we also have many other groups that have taken their work online to continue membership engagement, but also to share out what's happening here in the community. And of course, our EMCS students are always aware of the food bank and the need for challenges, and they've just completed their Spring Out of Hunger campaign.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. You say EMCS, and the first thing that popped into my head, Phoebe Dunbar and what she did to get that skeleton of the whale. It was recently posted by Alita Piers.
Yes, and this example of the Historical Society showing and showcasing the various gems in our community as well. So I think we're waiting for a time where we can gather together in person, because as humans we all miss one another. But at the same time, even the Sooke Philharmonic with their Secret Garden tour is taking it virtually online. The Fine Arts Show is the same, and really doing the best with the reality that we're facing. So I really applaud all the volunteers and organizers for continually to find ways to be creative and innovate, to uphold the health orders, but also keep our community entertained and vibrant.